Hi guys, my name's Shane. I want to talk to you about a very touchy subject that in the last couple days has raised its ugly head in my small community. And that's suicide. A friend of mine, an old friend of mine who I don't even speak to anymore, but through the magic of Facebook I found out that they lost a child due to suicide a couple days ago. And that led me to ponder what I've been through and my experiences. And I decided I wanted to make a video to help whoever, whether it be the family or if you are suffering from depression and suicidal thoughts. So here's a little bit about myself. I'm 42 years old, divorced, 2 beautiful daughters. When I was 13 years old, I was just a happy-go-lucky kid. Nothing really was going on in my life. I wasn't abused, I wasn't molested, I wasn't hurt, I wasn't on drugs, I wasn't anything. So, over a course of a couple months, this depression kicked in. And I remember it was over Thanksgiving and Christmas. And this depression kicked in as it grew within me. It got so bad that I didn't want to live anymore. I was so embarrassed. I had all these guilty feelings about something's wrong with me. Now, whether it was just going through puberty, growing up, I don't know what it was, but something hit me and it grew and it manifested itself almost like a cancer or something that you can't see, but it's there. It's as real as cutting your arm off. You just can't see it. And that's depression. And this depression got so intense that I decided that I didn't want to live anymore. So what I decided to do was write my note to my mother, thanking her and apologizing to her for what I was about to do. I went to the gun cabinet. I pulled out a revolver. I don't know if it was a .357. I don't know. I don't even remember. But I remember I pulled out this revolver. I made sure it was loaded. I went back, checked, make sure my note was where Mom was going to find it. Or at least somebody was going to find it. I put the gun in my mouth and I started to cry. And my very last thought was, who's going to find me? And I realized at that moment that my mother was going to find me. I didn't want her to find me like that. Now, if her boyfriend at that time that we lived with, if I knew that he was going to find me, I wouldn't be here talking to you now. But something come over me and let me know that she would be the one to find me. And I didn't want her to see that. So I put the gun down. I went in my room and I cried for a little bit and I waited on her to get home. I went back to the gun cabinet. I got the gun back out and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I couldn't. So then I thought about, well, I'm just going to go take some pills. And I thought about other options. And something overwhelmingly took over and said, don't do it, Shane. Don't do it. So when Mom come home, I told her what was going on. Of course, she freaked out. She had no idea. This has been going on for 2 or 3 months inside my head. This feeling of depression was so intense that you don't think of, and I can't believe that I actually thought about my mom before I almost pulled that trigger. You don't think about your family, you don't think about your friends, you don't think about what's going to happen when I'm not here, except for the world's going to be better off that I'm not here. And that is so not true. Not true whatsoever. I went and told my mother when she got home. I got rid of the note, I hid the note. I thought I'll hang on to it. So I told Mom. She immediately got me in to a psychologist. His name was Dr. Stover, and he has since passed on, but he was an incredible person, an incredible man. And over just in a couple of weeks of going to see him a couple times a week, I started to get better. I started to see the light. Of course, that was back before we started taking antidepressants, and all that was very popular then, or was not very popular then. So I decided, I didn't really decide, my brain started to change. I got all this poison and junk out of my system. So I was there. I know what that dark, deep, intense, awful feeling is like. There is nothing in the world that can overpower that. There is no happiness, no love, no joy, no anything that can compare to that nagging feeling, that constant urge to not want to be here. I know what that feels like. It's the most terrible feeling in the world. And unless you've experienced it, you have no idea. Like I said, it's as real as cutting your arm off. You just can't see it. People suffer with depression every day. I still suffer from a mild form of it. Yeah, I take a little medicine for it. As a matter of fact, I've got a tattoo on my arm that is an eyeball with like a demon coming out of it, and it's a reminder to me that demon is still inside me, and I know that when it starts to rear its head, what I need to do. About 5 years ago, I went through a divorce, and it was not a bad, I mean, as far as divorces go, it wasn't a bad divorce. It was amicable, but it was still life-changing, and those demons started to show their head again. So I immediately went and talked to a psychologist. They told me at first, well, it's going to be a couple weeks. And I said, lady, in a couple weeks, I won't be here if I don't get help. About 2 days later, they got me into a lady. I went and seen her several times. She really helped me. I didn't want those feelings to come back, and I know that they started to. So I tried to cut that off. So people have this idea that suicide is selfish. It's terrible. It's, and it is. It's terrible. Is it selfish? I don't know, because when you feel that way, it doesn't feel selfish. It feels like it's the only option. It's the only option. It's like a wall's closing in, and you push back, and you can't. It's just too much. You can't get that weight off of you. So it crushes you. And that's what this feeling, this intense, awful feeling of depression is like. It crushes you. And you can't stop it. So I beg you that if you feel that way at all, go get help. Go talk to your parents, your teacher, your friends, and if you're a young person, I understand you probably don't want to go talk to your friends because you don't want to be judged or labeled, or you don't want your business on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all over social media. So go talk to an adult. Go to the hospital, go to the doctor, go to someone, an adult, and say, look, I need help. I want to die. I want to hurt myself. I want to kill myself. So please go get help. And like I said, I wasn't ever molested or go through anything traumatic, and I know that people go through those things, whether it be a veteran or a policeman or a fireman. I've spent 7 years on a fire department, and I've seen people that have committed suicide, and I hear the things that people say about that, and oh, how selfish and how dumb, and things like that, and it really gets to me because they haven't experienced those feelings, obviously, because if they had, they wouldn't be so damn judgmental. So I have had the opportunity to help a couple people that reached out, that I could see those signs, those symptoms, what was going on. One of them had never been married and was in his early to mid 30s and thought, you know what, I'm not married, nobody wants me. He lost his job, he was down and out. And I talked to him, and we spent a lot of time on the phone. I couldn't get him to meet me, but he talked, and that's what he needed. Finally, he went and got the help he needed. He went and met this beautiful girl. They have a child together now, and his life has really turned around, and I'm thankful that I got a little bit of an opportunity to talk to him and maybe play a role in helping him. I don't know. But I don't want one more person to die from suicide. I will do anything in my power to stop it, to help. These teenagers that bully each other on at school and on Instagram and social media and Facebook and all that stuff. It's crazy to me how mean people can be to each other. I know as a teenage kid, and it's kind of normal, yeah, you pick on each other and stuff like that, but when you know someone's having a hard time and you continue to be an asshole, I think you're the one that's an asshole. That's the way I feel about it. If you see someone that needs that help, that's being bullied and pushed around or depressed or whatever, just go talk to a teacher if you're at school, or go talk to, even if you have to go tell their parents, say, look, Sally said that she wished she was dead. While she might just be saying that, there's still maybe something to that. So instead of waiting to see what Sally's going to do, why don't you intervene and try to help Sally? Sally might not be the kind of person that you want to hang out with and be friends with, and nobody said you had to be friends with her. I mean, I'm not really friends with the guy that I helped. I'm not really friends much anymore with the girl that lost her child. That these things are what we are supposed to do as humans and as people. We've got to help each other. Now, I don't know if I'm sitting here talking to you because I got lucky. If God had a plan for me, if you believe in God, whether you do or don't, that's your business. But I honestly feel like I'm here to talk to you, and I survived all this so I can talk to you, so I can help one more person. I don't look at it as that's something I went through. I mean, yeah, it's something I went through, but I look at it as something that I went through so I can help someone else. I almost look at it like a blessing. Almost like when I look at the fact that I used to drink a lot, and it got to the point that I felt like I had to have it. I was able to quit cold turkey without really any problems. I mean, I can still go have a beer now and then and not have any problems. But I think that I was so fortunate so I could relate to addiction. So between depression and addiction, which kind of go hand in hand a lot of times, I think I went through both of those to be here to be able to talk to people about it. I've helped a couple people with alcohol problems and drug addiction because I understand it. Some people don't understand addiction, and that's okay. But I'm very fortunate, and I want you to know that if you are suicidal, if you're having weird, crazy thoughts, that you can overcome those, because I'm 42 years old. This happened to me 29 years ago, and I'm still here to talk to you about it. I've got a good job. Like I said, I've got a little business on the side, 2 great kids, and I'm very, very thankful that I'm able to sit here and talk to you about it. And if you decide you want to end your life, you won't ever have that opportunity. I was there, I didn't ever think about my future. All I thought about my future was it's never going to get better, so I might as well just end it. But I'm here to tell you that's 100% wrong. Yeah, it's going to take a little work. It's going to take some effort. You might be a little bit embarrassed, but who gives a shit? I was embarrassed at the time, but now I look back and I don't care who knows what I went through. Obviously, because I'm sitting here talking to you about it and putting it on YouTube. I'm proud of the experiences that I've went through. And I truly believe that I'm here so I can help. So, if you're having those feelings, please, like I said, go talk to a neighbor, a friend, a family member, someone that won't judge you. Because that's our biggest fear, is someone's going to judge us and it's going to make things worse. So that's why we keep it bottled up inside. That's why I kept it bottled up inside. And I've talked to other people, and those are the kind of the same things that they have felt too. They don't want to be classified as crazy or nuts or whatever. They just want to go about a normal life. But unfortunately, when you get to that point, there's nothing normal about it anymore. You've got to get people involved. It won't get better if you don't get someone involved, someone to help you. I promise it won't get any better. That's a guarantee. So you have to go tell someone. Whether you go to the police station, to the fire department, to the church, school, whoever, I don't care. Please go get help. Not one more person needs to die from suicide. I understand that there's post-traumatic stress and different things and abuse and, you know, a lot of these other things that go on that cause people to have depression, and some of that stuff I can relate to and some of it I can't. But what I can tell you is I'm a survivor and you can be too. If you feel like you can't make it another day, you need to go tell someone right now. Get off the computer and go tell someone right now. If I don't get help, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I hope that this video gets through and helps someone. If it does, then it's all worth it. If I could save everybody, then that's even better. But I pray that you go get help. I don't want to see any more of this. This is something that we can all avoid. You can't avoid it. You can get help. Even if you don't have insurance, I've even heard people talk about money. You go to the right people, money's not going to be a problem. So, please leave your comments below. I'll check in on them, and if you need help, I'll help you. I'll do whatever I can. Get online. There's all kinds of suicide prevention hotlines and numbers and programs and places you can go and talk to and people to see. So, I beg you to go get help. And that's the end of my video. God bless you.